What's cracking, peeps? Happy Monday evening. T-Money up in the heezy. Hope everybody's doing just splendid on this fine evening. Long ass day for myself. Just got home, got out of work, got showered. Got a few packages in the mail today. So first up, I just want to mention that the Cabal cut that was recently put out by Clive Barker's production company or something like that, I don't know the details, was way too much money. So a buddy of mine, well, became a buddy of mine, more like an acquaintance on a chat, reached out to me and said I can get you a copy of the film. And so he did just that. I got it in the mail today, and I've been watching it a little bit. It's actually on my TV right to the left of me now, just to see some of the missing footage and like, so essentially what I got is the exact replica of the film, of the cut that was just released. And honestly, I'm so glad that I didn't pay $50 for the cut, because the scenes that are like spliced into the Cabal cut just look like complete ass. And honestly, I'm just good with my theatrical cut from Scream Factory, you know. But you know, it was worth it just to dip my feet in. I'm still gonna watch it to say that I can experience the Cabal cut. But yeah, so shout out to you, buddy. You know who you are if you watch my channel. I don't think you do even, but for making that possible for me to get the Cabal cut essentially for a lot less, the same exact film. So thank you. Now let's get into this update. So got a few things. So I had a dream the other night about a story that when I was a child, my mom was a kindergarten teacher, so she always had, you know, tons of books at the house. And I guess at one point I was really into the Berenstain Bears. I mean, what kid wasn't? So long story short, I had a dream the other night about a sequence that was in the book, and it just prompted me today at work to call. I literally just like stepped outside. I called Barnes & Noble. I Googled Berenstain Bears toys, something like that. Berenstain Bears toys splattered around a room, or something like the scene that I had envisioned, because I had no idea which book it was from. And long story short, I've actually been able to do this with like multiple things over the years. Locate like different scenes and songs, and just from like little bits, be it like a lyric from a song, just typing in random and then finding it online. Thank goodness for you know, the computer, for Google, because this wouldn't have been possible 10 years or however long it's been around, you know what I mean. So anyway, I was able to locate the book that I loved from my childhood through a dream, and then typing in the sequence essentially into Google, and then I called Barnes & Noble and I got it for $3.99. So just so you guys know, or just to show you guys, in case you have, if some of you guys probably have kids, I don't, but the book, the Berenstain Bears book that I am referring to is this issue in particular, the Berenstain Bears and the Bad Dream. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but some of those little creatures there on the cover. And then there was one sequence in particular that this was like in my dream, like the characters in this sequence. And so I was first try was able to find it. I'm just so happy. So yes, I'm going to do some reading before bed instead of watching a movie this week. I'm like going crazy buying shit from my childhood. I bought Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins, which is another excellent holiday children's book that I recommend if you guys have kids. Check that out. And then there's one now that I need to track down with an ogre, because I don't know what my mom did with all of the books, because she's retired now, but all the books from my childhood that I loved, I can't seem to find anywhere at the house. So anyway, that has nothing to do with horror, but I just figured I'd show it to you guys because it really is a fun book. I haven't reread it, so my memory is completely ass in terms of what happens, but I just remember the illustrations, and that really struck a chord with me as a kid. So that is the Berenstain Bears and the Bad Dream. Highly recommend it. Those books are dirt cheap too. It was only $3.99 for that. I paid a little bit more for Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblin, but that one was only $3.99, and then I have 10% off because I'm a Barnes & Noble member. Well, my brother is. I just use his account. Let me grab a quick sip of this splendid seltzer beverage. I'm actually, like, when I was a kid, I loved seltzer. I used to call it Bubbles, and then I guess I got a taste for soda, some point in my younger days, and then I kind of like abandoned seltzer completely, and then I became like a soda fiend, and it's so bad. So now I'm reverting back to the old days and just forcing myself to like seltzer because I literally can't drink soda anymore. The amount of sugar in it is just killing me, physically, literally. So anyway, on a total side tangent there. Yeah, let's get into this update now. 5 minutes in, motherfuckers, let's go. Hope everybody had a good Monday. Off to a rough start today at work, but I'm glad to be here now doing this unboxing. So, oh, and also I'm wearing my new Creepshow shirt from Fright Rags. So, shout out to Fright Rags, always hooking up the awesome gear. I get so many comments in public, just like from like the shirts that I wear. People are like, "Oh, it's so sick, dude." You know, it's like I love it because, I mean, it's just awesome stuff. You know, like my House of a Thousand Corpses hoodie, people comment on that all the time. You guys get the same thing from wearing your Fright Rags gear in public or any horror gear? So I'm really, really excited for this package right here. This is from Scream Factory. Then I have one that's kind of a mystery package. So I guess the theme for this video is mystery. What was in the bag, kind of. I don't know if I'm going to dub my title that or whatever. But so this is a mystery, something that I bought from the UK. Customs declaration there on the bottom right, and I forget what it, I mean, it could be one of multiple things that I have ordered, but I can't for the life of me remember what is in that bag or package or envelope, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember, so we will find out. I'm going to save that one for last. And then I've got one from my boys over at well, my boy Jesse over at Diabolique. So nothing new there. I mean, I get stuff from him almost in every unboxing I do, but stoked for what's inside that. And I'm gonna go grab something else when I open that up. So screw it, let's start with that. All right, so this is from Diabolique DVD, and it is the latest edition of Garage House Pictures Trailer Trauma 4. So really, really excited for this. Just want to show you guys, if you could. Sorry I didn't pre-prepare. I was just so excited to do the update that I just didn't grab what I needed beforehand, and I apologize for that. But here I am. At least I don't have to go into my room anymore. I have half my movies out in the living room, in the basement, and then half in my room. Alright, so I have now, with the addition of Trailer Trauma 4, I have the first 4 editions of Trailer Trauma. Now, if you guys are looking for ideas of exploitation films, 70s, 60s, horror, action, sci-fi, exploitation, blaxploitation, any and all obscure film, this is really an awesome way to experience some trailers and to get some ideas for movies to potentially buy. That's why I buy these. A lot of people say, oh, they're great to throw on at parties and stuff like that. And sure, why not? I don't have parties personally, so I don't have any friends, so I can't. But yeah, I just watch them to get ideas primarily. And it's fun also just to see some of these shitty movies and get a good laugh. So yeah, we have Trailer Trauma 1. I'm not going to get into the details of what are on the specifics. If you want to find out more, just go to Diabolique or and you can read like summaries of all of them. Trailer Trauma 2, and then my favorite, Trailer Trauma 3, which is a focus on 80s, baby. 80s Horror-thon, Trailer Trauma 3, and then the newest one is trailer number 4, Television Trauma. So I'm really excited for this because I think it has a lot to do with television stuff, obviously. It says, packed with rarities and familiar faces, Trailer Trauma digs up previews from dusty corners you'd never imagined existed. Each volume is like a roller coaster through film history. Okay, but let's see. Where does it say about Trailer Trauma 4? They've wreaked havoc at the drive-in. They've attacked the all-night horror-thon. Now the terror began with Trailer Trauma will invade homes everywhere. The 4th volume in the Trailer Trauma series is a marathon of madness featuring 268 of the best and rarest TV spots for some of the greatest and most obscure 70s theatrical horror and exploitation films and beyond. Over 3 hours of demented delirium that will leave you traumatized. So, awesome. I'm hoping maybe they'll do a Trailer Trauma 5 that is like an 80s television trauma, but I haven't seen this yet, so For all I know, it did say 70s and more, so maybe it's just a combination of everything. But yeah, these are really cool. Like I said, a great way to get some ideas of some cool stuff to watch. Now we have TV shows, and the artwork is just insanity. I mean, scope that artwork out. It's beautiful. Just a lot of fun. Really like this company. They've also put out a couple independent films, not independent, but very obscure 60s, 70s, 80s films. Web of the Spider, Intruder, and there's always one that I forget the name of, Ghost something, a black and white film. Whatever though, yeah, really cool company. So keep your eyes peeled for Garage House Pictures, and I definitely recommend these trailer compilations. They're just a lot of fun. Alright guys, next up we have a package. I am super excited for this from Scream Factory. I love the film that's in this bag, and I have been anticipating one of my highest anticipated releases, or I mean, how do I say this? Films that I wanted to come on Blu-ray so bad is American Gothic. Just such a fun slasher type. It really reminds me of like a Motel Hell / a slasher film, and it's just different. It's unique. It's a slasher film, but it's about like a demented family, and these teenagers or young adults stumble upon them, and they have a family member that's great. It's just really, it's kind of like what's the movie called? Not the Unholy. Scorpion put it out. Can't remember the name of it, but it's a slasher film, but it's got a unique, a slightly different premise, where it's your typical, you know, I mean, the cover artwork says it all, American Gothic. So, A New Tale of Terror from the director of Legend of Hell House and The Incubus, 2 awesome films. It's gonna bug the shit out of me, guys. So, The Unseen. It reminds me of the movie The Unseen. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. Scorpion releasing, I think. It was Scorpion that put that out on Blu-ray. Awesome film. Kind of similar in premise. But the characters in this film are just great. Very memorable. The cast, Rod Steiger, Yvonne DiCarlo, or how do you pronounce that? I always forget. Yvonne DiCarlo and Michael J. Pollard. But Rod Steiger is just a tremendous performance as the creepy father on this farm, and then also the actress Yvonne DiCarlo or whatever. You guys are like, fuck, you're pronouncing that wrong. Or am I pronouncing it right? I have no clue. But anyway, yes, I love this movie. I'll read you guys the synopsis. Why not, right? When 6 young friends fly off on a weekend getaway and suddenly find themselves with engine trouble, very typical, they have no choice but to land on a remote Pacific island. Looking for shelter, they are grateful when they meet Ma and Pa and their children. An eccentric family living in the backwoods as if it's still the late 1920s. But what begins as simple old-school hospitality becomes a terrifying race for survival when one by one the friends start disappearing and dying horrible deaths. Phenomenal death sequences, might I add. One involving a swing, I'll just say. It's amazing. Fleeing the outside world many years ago, the family has created an island domain where all strangers are sinners, and the killing has never stopped. American Gothic features an all-star cast, including Rod Steiger, I don't know how you pronounce it, Yvonne DiCarlo, and Michael Pollard, and William Hootkins, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know. It's amazing. I really recommend it. Very atmospheric. Like I said, they dress, or like it said, they dress like they're from the 1920s, so it's very offbeat, odd to the friends that are visiting, and it's just really good. Basically, they're lured to their demises, like, separately by different members of the family. It also really reminds me of an episode of Tales from the Crypt. It's from season 5. I think it's episode 1, Death of Some Salesman, or Death of a Salesman. It's a Tales from the Crypt rendition of that story, but it's really good. And it's actually even more so than The Unseen and whatever else I mentioned. It reminds me of that Tales from the Crypt episode, which I happen to love. So, go figure, I love this film. Just gonna pop it open, show you guys. Nothing's really can top that. Yeah, they didn't even bother with reversible cover artwork, just because that is the one and only cover artwork that you need for this film for sure. So excited. Interview with composer. There's not much. Very lackluster in terms of special features on this release, but still, to have this on Blu-ray is totally worth it. So, American Gothic, I totally recommend everybody goes out and buys this. These are the releases that Scream Factory puts out that keep me going, keep me buying, keep me invested, keep me interested in the stuff that Scream Factory. It's what makes them unique and whatever. It's a great film, so highly recommend that one. All right, guys. Last but not least, let's get into this mystery UK package. Watch, it's going to be like a letdown. We'll see. Now, nothing I ever order from the UK is a letdown. That's like almost for sure. Oh, very cool. So this is from, it must be, I can't remember if I bought this directly from Indicator or if I bought this from Amazon.co.uk. I'll have to look it up after, but it's a new one from, because I also ordered the Eyes of Laura Mars or something, which I ordered that directly from this company, which I recently did an update showing you everything I had so far from the line. It's Indicator / Powerhouse Films from the UK. So anyway, losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, so that hasn't come yet. So this must have been an Amazon.co.uk purchase. So anyway, I had never heard of this film. Not gonna lie, it was a blind buy based on the title alone, and I have a feeling it's not what I envision. Like when I think of the Pumpkin Eater, I think of something like Pumpkinhead, but I know this film is far from that. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis here. Well, they don't give you, I forgot that they don't give you the synopsis on the back of the film. So, oh, really nice glossy booklet. I mean, this is really high quality. So I'll read you guys a little blurb from this. It says, a conundrum for lovers of British film. Why isn't The Pumpkin Eater from 1964 a better known film? Why doesn't it feature on those greatest British films ever lists? Its absence from conventional historiographies of British cinema is puzzling, giving its, I can't read tonight, impeccable artistic credentials. The insightful, imaginative direction of Jack Clayton, ably assisted by stunning black and white photography from Oswald Morris and sensitive editing from James Clark, a poignant Georgia score, so it's a screenplay adaptation, blah blah blah, revelatory leading performances from the actors. The film may take its title from a nursery rhyme. Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her, but he put her in a pumpkin. It's just reading. Sorry, guys. It says its vision is anything but childlike, instead depicting depression, nervous breakdown, adultery, abortion, and sterilization with grown-up candor. The focal point is the relationship crisis endured by married couple Joe and Jake Armitage. And as Time magazine's reviewer put it, Harold Painter and Jack Clayton's unsentimental aim is to take a marriage apart and nail up the bleeding pieces for honest scrutiny. This is a vision of marriage as combat and the family as a battleground with only tentative hopes of a ceasefire at the end. So it is not what I expected at all, not going to lie, but it sounds like a really good film. And yeah, I love this company and I had to grab it. So far from Pumpkinhead, but it is the Pumpkin Eater. So cool, guys. So that's it. That's my update for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night. I will catch you very soon. Peace and love.